Hello, A-Level Computing video number 5, and we're still looking at the analysis stage of the system's life cycle, and in this video we're going to look at something called flowcharts. So during this analysis stage we know that the analyst will work closely with the customer, and another type of diagram that the analyst can create in order to portray how an existing system works is the flowchart, and there's an example of a flowchart there, quite a simple flowchart. So they might also be known as system flowcharts or program flowcharts. If you search the web for flowcharts, you might come across some quite humorous flowcharts, such as this one or this one. So let's look at a more useful flowchart and the symbols involved, and this flowchart is going to portray the process for running a bath. So the first symbol we might expect to see on all flowcharts is what we call a start or stop symbol or terminator. Not that sort of terminator, but the sort of sausage shaped oblong type symbol that we see there. After that we'll have an arrow coming out of it, which is going to take us to the next step in the flowchart, and the arrows are always known as flow lines. Now the next step in the flowchart is a rectangle. Rectangles symbolize something called processes, and the process is that we turn on the taps to start running our bath. Then we have another flow line and another process, and this process is we see how much water is in the bath. We keep checking, don't we, to see how much water is in the bath. So another flow line, and then we come to a different symbol, the diamond symbol. And the diamond symbol denotes a decision. This is where the program needs to make a choice. And in a decision, we always have a question, so we'd always expect to see a question mark in there. Is the bath full enough? Now, we've got one arrow going into the decision, but we always have more than one arrow coming out of the decision, because there's a choice for the program to make. So we need to put yes and no on the two symbols, on the two lines. And is bath full enough? If the answer is no, then we leave the taps to run and we keep going back to check to see how much water is in the bath. If the answer is yes, then we turn off the taps, another process, and the flowchart stops. The whole algorithm stops. Just notice that we've got something called a loop here, where we keep wanting the algorithm to loop around. Is bath full enough? No. See how much water is in bath. Is bath full enough? No. And that could go on for quite a while until our bath is full enough and we can end the flowchart. And we use the same symbol at the end as we do at the start, a terminator. One common flowchart symbol that wasn't in that first example is this, what I like to call a drunken rectangle. We actually know it's really called a parallelogram. There are two of them in this diagram, and parallelograms denote inputs or outputs where users have to input some data into the flowchart or into the algorithm, and the program might output something, so give some information back to the user. Might be a message, might be something on the screen, might be a sound or whatever. Hopefully that gives you a little insight into how flowcharts look and how they work and the different symbols involved. For your exam in Unit F451, you are unlikely to be asked a question just on flowcharts. You might be expected to mention them or explain them as part of a question that's asking about different analysis techniques and methods. And similarly for the design section, you might just get asked to mention them if you were asked about, tell us some different design methods. So you might not need to know masses about them for Unit F451. You will get asked a lot more about them for the programming unit, Unit F452 in the first year. So it is worth getting to know a bit more about them. So you also might get asked about a definition of a flowchart, so let's have a go at that. Represents an algorithm. An algorithm algorithm is the step-by-step procedures that need to be followed in order to solve a problem. And it represents algorithms, of course, with a diagram, as we've seen. It does not show people or organizations involved, which a data flow diagram may do. It shows processes and their data sources. Something else you might need to do is describe the symbols, and I said that you'll learn more about flowcharts in F452. So if you're interested in having a look at that now, check out video number 58 on A-level computing on the PIC ICT YouTube channel. Catch you later.